1968 was an amazing year for the city of San Antonio because as the Hemisphere Tower was rising, the stature of San Antonio began to rise across the nation and the whole world as Hemisphere took place here. And something else happened in this city, and that is a community of people began to gather, and that was St. Matthew's. It's a place where people congregate, where people's lives are changed. It's really a place that never sleeps. Kay Machagemba is one of our employees who's been here for 27 years, our parish secretary. And I mentioned to her that it would be great to have some pictures that show the founding of our parish and its early beginnings. And one day, just while looking for a file, she happened to dig deep down and find a cardboard box that had a treasure of the pictures we were just looking for. I was just a young boy when this was happening, and so now this has made me connect back to our past in a special way. We had about 200 founding families, and some of them are still with us. They stepped up when there was very few resources in this community to give of their time, treasure, and talent to build up St. Matthew. Mr. Raul Fernandez was the secretary in that first parish council and was instrumental in constructing the rectory.
It was exciting because we were doing something so positive with not by oneself, but with a lot of people working together because they wanted to be part of this tremendous church. I've been very fortunate on the ground level, starting out a great group of individuals to maybe form what we were going to be. But more important is the people who are here today and who will be here tomorrow with bigger and better ideas and will make even bigger and better things happen.
Back in 1968, there was no church, so parishioners would gather at the old Ursuline High School, Ursuline Academy on Vance Jackson. And to celebrate baptisms or weddings, we were fortunate that St. Gregory's Church allowed us to do those there. Then eventually the church was built, which was a little bit less than half the size of the current church. Later on, the administration building was built for our parish, and also in 1993 the school was built, and we're celebrating 25 years of our school being open. Later on, the St. Vincent de Paul building was also built, and in 2002 land was purchased for our sports and devotional park. And that is a very important part of our parish. Our CYO is able to use that for games as well as, of course, St. Matthew's School sports. To try to keep up with all of our 29 CYO basketball teams, we found a need to have an extra gymnasium. So we're building a new athletic center that will have 2 full-size gymnasiums in that center. And because we run out of meeting spaces for prayer groups and groups to gather, we also will have 3 meeting rooms in that new building. We will have 72 parking spaces underneath our new building, as well as the 4 acres of Vance Jackson. We're going to soon have a second way to come in and out of our property. While the buildings that we have are obviously very important, what really is most important is the gift of faith.
I'm Sister Therese Gleitz, and I came to St. Matthew's 45 years ago. Even though St. Matthew's had no buildings at the time, parishioners in the parish generously donated their homes, taught in their homes, hosted children in their homes for religious education. I feel greatly blessed to have been in this parish because I've been very inspired by the parishioners, by the generosity of our teachers, by the sacrifices that they make, by the sacrifices that parents make in this parish, and grandparents who often support their families and make sacrifices to bring their children to learn about their Catholic faith.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses.
Our faith is what our life is all about. And I think there could be nothing more important than fostering religious education. Without God, we have nothing.
We're so blessed with our founding pastor, Monsignor Holden. Unfortunately, he died less than a year after being here. Then Monsignor McDonald came along and was here for the building of the church and the rectory, followed by Monsignor Steuben, Monsignor Flynn, Monsignor Yarbrough, and now myself. And I've always been impressed with the depth of the faith of the people of St. Matthew Parish. We're the only parish in our archdiocese that has 4 daily masses. We have 7 masses on the weekend as well. The amount of baptisms we have, the weddings that we have. So it's a place where the sacraments are celebrated, and we rejoice in that gift. We're blessed to have a 24-hour adoration chapel, and there are always cars here in our parking lot. It can be 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, because someone is in that chapel. A woman from Houston who comes once a month to work here said this is her favorite chapel in the state of Texas. And every time she comes to San Antonio, she will always stop at our chapel. St. Matthew's has over 50 organizations and ministries. Some of the ones that make it so unique are our refugee ministry, working with Catholic charities, having refugees from Burma, also some from African nations as well, and people coming here that don't know any of the language, don't know what the culture is like, and so we're so grateful to have volunteers in our refugee support ministry to help them get acclimated to life here, and to also have Liturgy of the Words in Burmese every Sunday for them as well. Our St. Vincent de Paul is the largest chapter of any parish in our archdiocese. Every month we help over 2,000 people with food and others with assistance for utility. People come here also just to be comforted and to know that somebody cares about them. St. Vincent de Paul does that in a marvelous way. We were one of the first parishes to adopt the Acts retreats, and there have been thousands of people whose lives have been transformed, and many of our Acts team veterans have gone all over the world, literally, to bring Acts retreats with Acts missions there. We have a beautiful group of Guadalupanos who celebrate Our Lady's feast day, December the 12th, and we're also very proud to have a beautiful shrine to Our Lady of Guadalupe in our sports and devotional park. We have several Bible studies. You can go to one in the morning, you can go to one in the afternoon, you can go to one in the evening, and we have hundreds of people studying God's Word. And of course, we're very proud of our RCIA program, the way we reach out to people that are converting to Catholicism or adults who need sacramental formation. St. Matthew is unique because we have groups for all ages here. We have groups for tweens, for high school students, for college-age students, the Freedom Finders. We have the YC3 for those that are 25 to 40. And then we have a couple different senior groups as well, and an active senior center. Sometimes I drive up and I see so many cars. I don't know what meeting they're attending, but I just say, God bless you all. St. Matthew's hasn't grown just for the sake of growth, but because of the needs of the people that it serves. And it's beautiful to see all of the generations represented in our parish family.
My name is Chris Tudus, and my family goes way back with St. Matthew's since the beginning. I've been going through some pictures here of what we've done throughout the years, and we've done so many different things, and you don't even think about what you've done until you look back on it years later. Well, my dad was on the first parish council. My mom was the first choir director. As a matter of fact, I found an old hymnal that she actually typed up, and I remember putting these things together when I was 5 years old or so, maybe 6. My little sister was the first person baptized at St. Matthew's. We have some pictures here of her with Father Holden, was the one who baptized her. My brother and I were altar boys before the church expanded, and one day I found a picture of a wedding that we helped serve in. I was on the first soccer team. I found a picture of us. The colors weren't even red at the time. I was on the first Acts retreat as a retreatant, the first men's Acts. Dad was on the team. I've helped on youth retreats, family retreats. My wife and I actually met each other through mutual Acts friends. We ended up getting married. Monsignor Flynn resided at our wedding. Patrick was actually baptized at St. Matthew's. There's a picture of him back in the back area getting baptized while Christopher was playing in the water, and Monsignor Wagner is the one that that had the baptism. My sons they've played sports there too. We just had years of community at St. Matthew's.
St. Matthew's is a special place because of the faith of its parishioners, because of the can-do attitude of the parishioners, because of the extraordinary staff, clergy and deacons. It's a place that is very diverse. People from every continent and background, economic level, come and worship together, and the diversity is a beautiful tapestry of faith that makes St. Matthew the great place it is today. Let us build a house where love can dwell and all can safely live, a place where saints and children tell how hearts learn to forgive. Build a house and dreams and visions of faith and vault of grace. Here the love of Christ shall indeed Let us build a house where all are named, their songs and visions heard, and loved and treasured, taught and claimed as words within the Word. Built of tears and cries and laughter, prayers of faith and songs of grace. Let this house proclaim from floor to rafter, all are welcome, all are welcome, all are welcome